All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. And this, of course, is coming from France, where a fire was reported at a residential building in the French city of Lyon. And according to reports that have come in, at least about 10 people, including 5 children, are said to have been killed in this massive fire. The authorities claim that the mishap left at least about 14 other people injured. The local authorities of Lyon have further added that the fire was first reported to the emergency services at about 3 a.m. local time in the wee hours of the morning. A total of 170 firefighters and 65 fire trucks were pressed into service. The emergency services reported that the fire broke out in the 7-storey apartment block in the Masdou Toro neighborhood. Two firefighters have also been injured while trying to douse the flames, and authorities say that the cause of the fire at this point of time is still under investigation. Meanwhile, the French housing minister has said that he will be visiting the area of this blaze. All right, now to give us more insights in terms of what exactly has happened in Lyon, we're being joined in by Ross Cullen, who's been tracking the story very closely for us from Paris in France. Now, Ross, this is a very tragic incident where 10 people, according to reports, including 5 children, are said to have lost their lives in this massive fire that broke out at an apartment in a suburb of Lyon. All right, there seems to be a bit of an issue there with my colleague's Ross Cullen's line. We'll try and get him back again in just a bit. But this, of course, is a very tragic incident that has happened in one of the suburbs of Lyon, where, according to reports, it's being said that at least about 10 people, including 5 children, have been killed in a fire that broke out at an apartment complex, a 7-storey building, which caught fire. At this moment, it is not clear as to what resulted in the fire in the 7-storey apartment building. But what is clear is that at least 10 people, including 5 children in the age group of 3 to 15, have ended up losing their lives. The fire started on the ground floor of the 7-storey apartment that was constructed sometime in the 1960s. And this apartment building is said to have been in the Masdou Toro neighborhood. And the fire reportedly spread pretty fast to the upper floors, filling in the stairwells as well with smoke. And my colleague Ross Cullen is back online with this, is what I'm told. Ross, if you can hear me this time around, the question that I'm asking you is, it's a very tragic incident that has been reported from the suburbs of Lyon. Tell us more as to what has happened.
Yes, the Interior Minister, Gérald Darmanin, has made a visit. First thing this morning, he gave a briefing here in Paris, and he is now down in Vaux-en-Velin, just outside Lyon. He said that there was a period of mourning taking place in the local community, praising the work of the fire service. About 170 firefighters, more than 60 fire service vehicles in attendance in the early hours of this morning, local time here in France, this Friday morning, when the fire broke out. Gérald Darmanin also saying that at least 10 people had been confirmed to have died, with 5 of those children, 4 more people seriously injured and being looked after in hospital. He couldn't rule out entirely that there might be more fatalities linked to this fire if the situation of those people being treated does deteriorate. That's what we know about the fire. Broke out, lasted about 3 hours, from around about 3:30 a.m. till 6:30 a.m. when the firefighters managed to bring the blaze under control in the residential block in Vaux-en-Velin, which is a suburb to the east of France's 3rd biggest city, Lyon. Also heard from the Prime Minister, Elisabeth Borne. She tweeted her sadness at the news, saying that her thoughts were with the families of those people who lost their lives.
Right now, at this point of time, Ross, do we know at all as to what sparked this fire? Because this apartment building, we're given to understand, was constructed sometime in the 1960s. Was it well equipped with these anti-fire mechanisms? These are requirements that are there in place presently. Was it equipped with that, or did it simply not have these mechanisms in place?
Yes, there were some residents who wanted to get a word in with the mayor of that suburb, Hélène Geoffroy, and they were criticising her for not acting on recommendations that some of the residents said they had lodged with her office to improve the safety conditions inside the building. She said she would bear in mind those concerns, but now was a time for mourning, for remembrance of the victims, and not a time for political statements. So there has been some criticism of her office, Hélène Geoffroy, the mayor of Vaughan-Velin, but for the moment it does seem that the government wants to try to focus on supporting the families of the victims and trying to ensure that the care of the hospital staff means that the people who are being treated in hospital means that they'll be able to recover fully.
Absolutely indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Ross Cullen, for joining us from Paris and giving us all those insights there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.